You are dangerous. You are a lethal weapon, especially when it comes to the devil. Yes, I'm going to talk about the devil. And I was one of those people years ago. I'd say the devil doesn't exist. We create our own reality. And in many ways, I was right. But I'm going to tell you what the devil actually is now that I have a new understanding. The devil is simply illusion. The devil, in many ways, doesn't exist. It doesn't have omnipotent power. Its only ability that it has is that of illusion. And so it creates acts of illusion so that you can believe in a reality that isn't actually there. It's going to make it so real. They showed this clip one time, or, maybe I read an article even on it. Like when they came out with the first horror film, like the first scary film, people were just getting into the cinema, like they, have been just watching musicals that were created into movies and happy-go-lucky stuff. And somebody said, I'm going to make a horror film. And when those people sat down in that theater, people were terrified out of their mind. And you know the reason why? Because they had never seen anything like that before. They'd never seen monsters like that, or people bleeding, people getting torn limb to limb. That had not been, up until they seen it on the screen, part of their reality. So if we went back and watched that first horror film, we would think this is some whack shit. But guess what? Back then, people were like afraid. So I only mention that because this is ancestral work. Your ancient ancestors have the original vision, have the original gaze. Gaze. I've talked about this before. Spirit keeps pointing it out to me. Wherever you put your gaze, it's where your reality starts to shift. So the devil creates many things for you to place your gaze upon. Many fallacies. And you are put here on this earth for such a powerful purpose that, and you are such a powerful being, by the way, that when your gaze is diverted from the truth, diverted from spirit, it's in service of the devil. It's in service of illusion. If you don't like me using the word devil, let's say illusion. It's in service of that. And that illusion is manufactured. It's manufactured. And I want to say something to you Christians out there, because I understand where you're coming from when you're like, Jesus saves, things like that. But here it is. The devil even put an illusion there. Jesus, the Christ consciousness, is definitely an almighty, powerful consciousness, birthed from spirit. But it is not a savior. It is not here to do the work for you, to get rid of your illusions. It simply is here, the Christ consciousness, to put you back into your consciousness. So if you are a Christian, but you are not doing the work of consciousness, of getting back into Christ's consciousness, then you're still doing the devil's work. I don't care how you describe this. I had to play on words here. I don't care how you describe it. I don't care how you dress it up. I don't care if you're sitting in an auditorium of 5,000 people saying Jesus, 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 Jesus all over again. If you are not being taught, encouraged, even directed to elevate your Christ consciousness, then you are not doing the work of Jesus. I have a great relationship with that ascended master, among others. And I will tell you that I have a loving relationship with that energy. But Jesus speaks through me and tells me that you all are not doing the work that this energy placed upon the earth, taught through very poignant teachings that are not only in the Bible, teachings that have been channeled through great ministers, great teachers, great historians. But putting that aside, because if you're not a Christian, you're listening to this and you're going, this sounds all like Christian, devils and Jesus. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Demons exist. It's an energy. And it's here to keep you in illusion. And the more that you participate in this illusion, the more you are doing the work of the demon, of the illusionary energy. It's a paradox. It's difficult to understand because you're living in an illusion while people are using their consciousness to make it so real. That's why you'll see in many mythology stories of where you take this great journey and you'll have to come to a point in the journey where you have to see through illusion. The hero or the heroine has to see through illusion. They'll be faced with their greatest fears. They'll be faced with their greatest desires. And the Buddha, another ascended master, taught me long ago that in order to break through this illusion, you need to understand that the illusion calls for you to either be attached to something or it calls for you to be in aversion, to run away from something. Those are the two actions that keep you in illusion. Running away from something or becoming attached to something. In Buddhism, they refer to this as the middle path. Staying in the middle path helps you avoid being overly attached to something or overly averse to something. Because in Buddhism, if you sit long enough in meditation, or you meditate in any style you want to, because there's several ways to meditate. But if you are in meditation long enough, you will see the cycle of the illusion. It comes and goes. It tells a story and it leaves. It hopes that you hang on to that story. It hopes you hang on to that illusion. And it comes and it goes. In a lot of different forms and fashions, a lot of different faces, a lot of different conditions and situations. So Buddhism teaches you through the act of meditation, of stillness, of presentness, to be present, how to recognize the cycle of illusion. And once you recognize the cycle of illusion, you can step out of it. Because you see it so clearly. And then you become what they say, you are in the world, but you are not of it. You're not of it. And that is when those of us who believe, now I'm going to get to those of y'all who believe in the quantum, who understand the cosmos, who understand that you are probably not even from this earth. You were sent here to help the earth, to assist the earthlings. But even your ancestors said, listen, when you get down on that planet, that illusionary shit is thick. It's dense. You're going to have to break through that to even remember who you are and your mission. We can't help you break through that. We can only give you the tools you were born with. They're inside of you. And we're hoping that somewhere in your ancestral memory, that you are wise enough to recognize the truth of who you are at your core. Because once you do that, you will be able to break through the illusion of that world. It's been placed on top of that world, so this world does not grow and develop and become a vital part of this cosmos. So those of y'all who are into the quantum theories, y'all understand that this 3D, it's made up. But you also understand that you are in a physical vehicle in this 3D. And you also understand that once you stop seeing the illusion, you kind of are able to operate in other timelines. Because the illusion of the 3D, once you break through that, you have access to other realms. The 5D, the 6, 7, and forward. And you all turn into those magical energies that can bring things from other realms and realities to help us lift up the consciousness of this 3D. Low key, everyone, regardless of what you believe, because there's even more theories out there about what we're doing here on this earth. But everyone, you need to know, the only purpose we have here is to elevate and save the earth. Years ago, when I was 21, I was given a prophetic vision. And I won't share much about it here, because Spirit has taught me that I have to share it with specific people at specific times. But what I will say about this prophetic vision, which has driven my life, which has always come back to remind me when I fall into illusion myself, because I am no different from anyone else. I fall into illusion and I have to get back out. Sometimes a desire comes up that is so strong within me, I fall into illusion. I have to get myself back up. But you need to understand, there is only one reason why we all are here. And if you're listening to this right now, you are part of this. We are all here to save this earth. To save this earth from illusion. Now, I'm going to go back to what I just said. Going in and out of illusion. Because I've learned in my tender age of 54 that illusion's a motherfucker. And anytime I found that I had a desire, some attachment to something, or anytime I found that I was running away from something, I was right back in illusion. Not for very long, because I was well practiced at this moment. But even the well practiced of us, we'll tell you the truth. It's sometimes hard to escape this illusionary realm. And I don't even know if you want to use the word escape. It's hard to see through it all the time, because so many things are happening to you in this physical realm. You know, you can see through the illusion. You're feeling liberated, and you step out your house and somebody snatches your purse, or you get a phone call that someone's harmed somebody. And then you're right back in believing, no, this world is fucked up. This world is shit. And that's how it gets you. It doesn't mean that bad things will not happen to you. It doesn't mean that once you're liberated, those around you won't be harmed or fall into their own disastrous illusions. It simply means that you now don't have to participate in the illusion. You don't have to participate in it. You see it for what it is. You understand that you have to craft this life in this 3D very carefully. You understand that every morning you wake up and every night and every evening when you go to bed, you have to reinforce yourself back into the present moment. Using your practices, using your resources, whether you pray, you meditate, you write, you paint, you play music, you sing a song, you move in yoga, whatever you're doing. You understand that a daily practice keeps you grounded, keeps you fortified, keeps you out of illusion. You also make choices in who to be in partnership with, who to be friends with, who to be business colleagues with, what kind of work you even will do. It starts to get real deep, y'all, because once you become liberated, you can't be in the tension of toxic relationships. You can't be in the tension of toxic work environments. You just can't do it, because you see no reason for it. It's an illusion. And some of you will be good soldiers, good warriors. You will go out there and you will try to convert people to this liberation. And that may be your work. But for many of you, you may first, before taking that work on, need to extract yourself from certain illusionary relationships, illusionary environments, and then do your work, and then start to spread whatever wisdom you have. This path of liberation for many of us in this phase is one sometimes of aloneness. But you got to know you're never alone. Your ancestors have been guiding you towards consciousness. Spirit has been guiding you towards consciousness. Ascended masters have been guiding you towards consciousness. Angels, guides. For those of you who are not really spiritual, you believe in the quantum and the science has been guiding. The cosmos have been guiding you. Your cosmic ancestors have been guiding you. Your awakeness has been guiding you. So you are not alone. But the 3D illusion is that you are alone, because people don't understand you. People suddenly don't know what you're on. Like people are intimidated or threatened by your consciousness. And if that's the case, you will pull out of those situations, because you would rather be alone and liberated than an illusion. So what I'm sharing with you here is a bit of the prophecy that we are here to save the earth, but we can only do that final act of saving the earth, when we are all, and I say all, A-L-L, all of us, are at a certain level of consciousness. And you're going to say to me, oh, well, if that's the work, I don't think we can get everybody on earth online at the same time in terms of consciousness. But I'm going to tell you, we have to. We have to. That's what Spirit showed me. It'll take all of us. So, I mean, you know, the spiritual journey sometimes is like dog years, y'all. You may come back and forth and come back and forth, and, you know, life is nothing but a sacred circle, y'all. It's just a sacred circle. That's the first illusion to break through. You do not die and just be gone. You will definitely come back. If you want to, you will come back. And you will do this work all over again. Learn the lessons all over again. Break through the illusion. And hopefully each time, for some of us, we're like, ooh, if I could just do it sooner. You know? I just had like a little hiccup there. But they're like, if you could just do it sooner. You think to yourself, okay, next time I come back, I'm going to do it sooner. I learned a whole bunch of lessons, and I know I'm going to encoded them into my DNA. So I know that when I come back, I'm going to remember this sooner. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. And there's no way ever that Spirit wants us to live in shame around this, or feel like somehow we're less than. And know this. If you're in environments where people are saying they're elevated and they've broken through illusion, but they're still practicing illusion, they're still all up in their ego, you ain't in that. You are not working with someone who's broken through. Because I gotta tell you, the liberation will feel like love. It will feel like free and easy liberation. It will not feel like control. It will not feel like games. It will really have no question to it. So, I don't know why Spirit just had me stop. I was drying my hair right now, preparing for a talk tomorrow, and Spirit was like, listen, you need to get on this recorder and record this, and then you need to post it. And yeah. And I want to say to you all, whoever's listening to this, that I love you, and I know you're going to make it through this illusion. And trust me, it's difficult. It's challenging. And in many ways, it's so simple. Some of the tools I've used, and I've shared it in another reading, Papasana meditation, S.N. Goenka Papasana meditation. You have to take a 10-day retreat, silence. You have to adopt the mind of a monk, the consciousness of a monk. You have to be willing to receive those teachings and instruction. And once you receive the instruction, you can go back to whatever it is you practice. But you receive that instruction and you adhere to the practice, it's going to keep you out of illusion. If you do the work and you do the practice correctly, you will gain the benefit. It's not the only way. I've practiced many things in my life. Reiki, prayer, shamanism, writing, art, all kinds of things. Christianity, I was raised Christian. Buddhism. And all of these are resources. The one thing I've found to help with the illusion has been Papasana. But I gotta tell you, even in Papasana circles, illusion exists, which is why when you go, pay attention to the teachings from the actual teacher, Essen Goenka. You pay attention to those teachings and work diligently to learn them. But also know there's people sitting next to you who are just sitting on that cushion pretending to meditate. They're all up in their mind. They're all up in their anxieties. They're all up in their demons. So know that's everywhere. In a church, in a mosque, in a synagogue, there's plenty of people who are all up in their demons. And there's still great places to learn, to practice. And so you get the teachings. And you stick to the teachings of the Ascended Masters. And when you get those teachings, you'll come back to them. But create a daily practice of whatever it is that keeps you grounded, that keeps you seeing clearly. And that will help you immensely. It will draw to you experiences in life that you need. It will correct any issues of lack and issues around your prosperity. And you'll go from there. You'll keep building brick by brick, step by step. Sometimes it's a slow process. Sometimes it's a fast process. Time mostly is illusionary. So I hope that you find this helpful. Comment below if you have more to add to this. By no means is this everything. By no means is this all of it. It's just the download I am receiving from Spirit, my ancestors and guides who sit at the feet of Spirit, and the lessons I've learned from my highest self. So be well. Take care. Peace.